bem-vindos, welcome, bem-vindes ao Immersive Talk do Brasil Immersive Fashion Week, laboratório de conexão e experiências entre moda e tecnologia. Meu nome é Lara Azevedo e se essa é a sua primeira vez por aqui, te convido a visitar o nosso site brifw.com para conhecer melhor a nossa plataforma, participar da nossa comunidade criativa e ainda acompanhar de perto os papos incríveis dessa primeira edição. Hoje, nós vamos entrar no processo criativo da Tabitha Swanson, designer gráfica e artista digital sediada em Berlim. Ela vai nos contar um pouco da sua relação com a Nike, sua visão do mercado de filtros e de realidade aumentada e vai passar pelo software que ela trabalha, o Sparkle AR. Então, se você tem curiosidade e gostaria de entender mais, não perca essa apresentação. Tabitha, welcome. We're very glad to have you here.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm super excited for this. Yeah, we can pop right in. So I've made a presentation, and in this presentation, it'll be shared with y'all. So if you don't catch anything during this, definitely you can follow along later. Yeah, and I have some links in here. I have some useful information. So yeah, let's start. I'm going to share my screen, and then we can go from there. Okay, so welcome everyone. Yeah, so we're going to go over today Instagram and Facebook face filters. So a little bit of an introduction. Here are the content. So welcome. In this presentation, we'll go over the recent project with Nike that I did, as well as some pricing, limitations, possibilities within the Spark AR software, as current as it is at this point in time, what different types of filters are good for, the do's and don'ts, insights into filters I've made, research into filters, ROI for anyone working in marketing, pitching to brands, etc., stuff like that. This presentation will also be good in like a very holistic sense. So we'll go over how to approach it from a campaign perspective, how to approach it from, you know, a designer perspective, and also just anyone who has general interest in it. So moving on, we'll go over, yeah, about me, what are face filters, the Nike project, possibilities, which ones perform best, budgets and timelines, how to upload them, analytics, stuff like that. And then we'll have a little session at the end where we'll go over it. But about me, so I'm a multidisciplinary designer and a creative technologist. Before filters, I was working with 3D animation, UX, UI, general design. And before that, I was previously working in marketing and fashion, which I think is also really interesting than giving a presentation here, having come from like a fashion background. If you want to look at more of my work, my Instagram is Tabitha Swanson _ and a lot of my filters are available through there as well. Some filters I've worked on, clients include Nike, Origins, Reebok, Vogue, Dynamo, the Black Market, Vans, Zalando. This is a short example one of one I made for the Black Market. It was like Matrix themed and yeah, really a lot of fun. So before we launch into the Nike project, I want to give a bit of a background on what face filters are. So what are they? How do they work? And yeah, so face filters are a form of augmented reality, AR. They, as most people know, were available through Snapchat previously, but I think that they really became even more popular through Instagram and Facebook. And so how do they work? It's through machine learning, and it's taking the average face. It's able to track where people's eyes and mouths are. And then the model adjusts and creates a mesh. And it's a facial recognition process, essentially. But yeah, there's more information on that online, and there'll be links in here that you can check out later if you want to learn more about the technical aspects of it. But from here, I want to go into the Nike project. So with Nike, This was really exciting. They asked me, Inez Alpha, and my friend Danny Intersexy to do a face filter project where we were three face filter influencers. They asked us to participate in making filters for a scavenger hunt. So this was for the launch of the Air Max 2090. And essentially, what happened in this campaign was they got all of the people who wanted to participate to use all three of the filters, tag us in them, and essentially like one filter led to another. So Inez had a filter, and she was like, if you want to try the next filter in this campaign, go to Intersexy. And then Danny Intersexy said, if you want to, do the next filter in this campaign, go to Tabitha. And it was a really interesting journey for people to kind of go through this process, see all the different ways that all three of us designers had made different filters for this campaign. And it really took them through a journey. Once they did all of this and used the hashtags like Air Max Hunt, Nike, and Zalando, they were entered to win a pair of shoes. One really interesting aspect of this project that I'll get into a little bit later is that Corona lockdown happened. And so initially with this project, we were going to, do this, have a fashion shoot with us, like in a campaign. And a few other things, but because of that, the photo shoot was canceled. We really had to pivot. It took a little bit longer than initially imagined. And yeah, as this pandemic was happening, it was so interesting to see how the project changed. For example, so on this next page, here are the drafts, and the one at the very leftmost side is actually the first one that I had. And then the one at the rightmost side is the last one that we ended up in. There were a lot of them in between, but these were kind of more of the main ones of concepts that I sent over. And so this was quite interesting because with this project initially, like I was thinking Air Max, clouds, air, etc., etc. And it had initially been approved, and then, because Corona is like an airborne virus and a bunch of stuff like that, we ended up having to change the concept quite a bit because, of course, with the pandemic, it was a very sensitive topic, and we wanted to stay away from anything to do with like air and breathing and clouds and stuff like that. So we ended up going with these 3D shoes revolving around the head, which at the end of the day, I think made for a stronger filter. But yeah, you can kind of see the progression, even with like butterflies and things flying in the air, anything to do with air, we kind of stayed away from. So that was quite interesting. And also understanding kind of the intentions of working on a corporate project like this, and also how much, obviously Nike doesn't want to do damage to their brand, and Zalando and stuff like that. And when dealing with a world crisis, it was a very unique experience and quite interesting. And yeah, I mean, you could see that everyone from Zalando's side to Nike side to my side, there was just so much unknown, and yeah, it was quite interesting.